Hello everybody, it's good to be with you today. Today's title is What's Next? What's Next? And as you see, I've been wearing a DBU shirt almost all the devotionals, but that's because I'm graduating in a few weeks from Dallas Baptist University. And then one of the biggest questions that I keep thinking is what's next? What's next, God? What's next? What do you have next in store for me? And as things continue to change and improve, we think, what's next? What is next? What's going to happen? What will my job look like in the future? What will my church look like? What will my kids' school look like? What will my classes next semester be like? And it's okay to be concerned about these things. And what we have covered in weeks prior is that our hope is in the Lord, so we do not have to worry or be afraid. So my challenge for you today is, what is going to change in your life? What is going to change in your life moving forward? As things start to reopen and we get back to our routines, the question is, what's next? What is going to change in your life and in my life? Last week we talked about resting, renewing, and resetting our lives. And as we come out of the COVID-19 situation, as things start to improve, are things going to be better or worse in your life? Are you going to be on fire for Christ or just do the bare minimum for the Lord? You know, I think to myself, now that things are going back to normal, what am I going to do differently? How am I going to change the way that I live? You know, how am I going to change the way that I serve? And, you know, for starters, you know, I plan to eat better. You know, lately I've been eating at home a lot and just feeling healthier and exercising outside. And so those are a few things I want to continue doing. But also, you know, during this COVID time and being at home, I had to learn to be disciplined in reading the Word and also in resting, as we talked about in weeks prior. So the question again today is, what's next? What's next in your life? And the first point today is be on fire for Christ. Be on fire for Christ. In Revelation chapter 3, verses 15 through 16, it reads, I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out of my mouth. And you know, here the Lord is saying to the Laodicean church, these people were lukewarm to Him. They had lukewarm faith. So when life starts to get back to normal, as much as possible, are you going to be lukewarm for Christ, or are you going to be on fire for Him? And, you know, so many of us, we say, you know, once this is over, I'm going to hang out with people again, go back to church. But once again, are you really going to do that? Are you going to do that? And I just want you to think, what's next? Are you going to be lukewarm or be on fire for Christ? And, you know, when we think of the word lukewarm, you know, when I go to a restaurant and I get my food, you know, I want it to be hot. I don't want it to be just a little warm. Or, you know, when I jump in the shower and I hope that it's a hot shower, not a warm shower, it's not the same. I'm disappointed. Or if you think about sports and your favorite sports team, when their season is just mediocre and they're not that great, it's a disappointment. So with your spiritual life, are you going to be lukewarm or are you going to be on fire for Christ? So the question again is, what's next? Are you going to serve in your church or just be another bench warmer? So what's next for you? And the second point today is put God first in your life. Put God first in your life. You know, it's easy to focus on God when there's minimal distractions. You know, a lot of us were at home and our lives aren't as busy. But what is going to happen when we go back to work? Your kids have sports. There's sports games on TV, sports, baseball, football going on all the time. What is going to happen when things get busy again? So the question again is, what's next? And as we look at Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, it says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So I encourage you today, whatever you're doing, the disciplines that you have developed during this time, don't give up and continue doing those. And I encourage you that when this is over, that you are on fire for Christ. And, you know, if you've been having quiet time, resting, you know, helping with church media and the online services, you know, I encourage you to continue to do those things because we have adapted during this time. And as a church, we have to continue reaching the lost. And, you know, during this time, I've talked to my wife and I said, you know, what are we going to keep doing? Or what are some things we need to change when we come out of this? So there is something that we can all learn from this time and improve. The third point today is be disciplined in the things of Christ. Be disciplined in the things of Christ. Craig Rochelle, pastor of Life Church, says, successful people do consistently what others do occasionally. Successful people do consistently what others do occasionally. And so why is it that we can be so disciplined in our job, our exercise, our diets, our education, but when it comes to God, many times we struggle with discipline? And they say what we make time for matters. So moving forward, what are you going to make time for? Are you going to make time for Christ, serving and being on fire for God? In Matthew chapter 22, verse 37, it reads, Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And in Acts chapter 2, verse 42, it says, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to breaking of bread, and to prayer. And when we think what's next, we should be thinking about how we can come out of this and be on fire for Christ. We should be thinking how we can serve God with all of our heart. And I encourage you to be on fire, just not settle for mediocrity. We need to devote time to God and to reading of the Word and fellowship. Once again, I've seen a lot of people say, when I'm done with this, I'm going to hang out with my friends and fellowship. But are we really? Are we really going to do that? I know many of us, it's easy for us just to cancel our plans and stay at home. And during this time, I've been doing Zoom meetings with students, our Sunday school class, and it's great, but it's just not the same face-to-face fellowship. So moving forward, what's next? What's going to change? And in closing, I truly believe that God wants us to be on fire for Him. God has a purpose for your life. He doesn't want you to waste it and just be another mediocre Christian. God wants you to be on fire for Him and reach the lost. So this week, I want you to think, what's next? What's next? What's going to change in your life moving forward? And just to recap, the 3 points is 1, be on fire for Christ. Second one, put God first in your life. And the third one, be disciplined in the things of Christ. So moving forward, when we think, what's next? What God do you have next in store for me? I just encourage you to be on fire for Him and to serve Him the best that you can and not settle for mediocrity. So thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.